Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Brother Sister Show. This is episode 27. Today, we're going to be talking about the Lodge, and we are joined with a very special guest, Bruce Eilers. I think I'm saying that right. We're joined with Bruce, good friend of mine. He went to high school with me. Uh, yeah, we'll get to him later, but I'm joined here with my sister,
I love these dramatic pauses. My name is Livia,
and
and
I'm
I'm the
Anthony,
sister.
the sister, and I'm the brother. And we talk about movies.
We talk about movie.
Movies. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. But before we talk about the movie, before we get to Bruce, we like to catch up because we don't talk outside of this. This is our perfect excuse to catch up. So, what you been up to?
I usually write down what I've been watching, but I didn't. And I don't remember what I've been watching.
Nice.
But the most recent stuff, I think I haven't really been watching like movies. I've been kind of sucked into YouTube for the past few
Oh yeah,
days.
who you
Yeah,
watching?
I'm also proud to announce that I downloaded the Twitch app. I don't
Ooh.
know what the fuck is going on in Twitch app because it's very I just don't understand it. But one of my friends is a streamer, Twitch streamer. So I downloaded the app so I can watch her streams because I kept just doing it on the like Twitter browser
Oh,
and it kept telling me to download and I was like, okay. And so I followed her and one thing that I didn't realize, so I was watching her stream. Um, and I didn't realize that when you follow somebody, because at first I was gonna sub, but I think that means something different. I think that means that you have to like pay or something.
yeah. So when you follow, you just like it's like following someone
It
on
like
Twitter.
yeah, it like
You
tells you when they're live or something, right?
yeah. There's like certain perks to subbing, and
Oh,
it's
okay.
like a monthly subscription.
Oh, okay. So I followed and I followed on her like when she was streaming and I didn't realize it tells them. And so she was like, "Oh, is that Livia?"
Yeah.
That was cool. I was trying to figure it out. I'm like a grandma. I don't understand what's happening.
hmm
So I've been watching that. I usually watch her streams, and I also, because you, Anthony, got me into watching Thomas Middleditch streaming. I
Mm.
didn't realize too that he has all of his archive of his streams, and because I've been working a lot too, that's why I've like not really been what's the word? Like
Yep.
watching TV or movies or something.
Yeah.
I've been like doing side projects, which I'll probably talk about it next week, but I'll probably have something to show for it because I feel like I've been talking about my side project for a long time, but it should be out soon. I'm thinking the end of this week.
Ooh.
So hopefully I will, but next episode, if that's out, then I'm excited to share what exactly I've been working on. But yeah. But while I've been working, I've been watching his stream, and I was watching today the Poly Bridge
Yeah, yeah.
bridge thing, and it's so boring. Like that game is so boring to me, but he's so funny and he's so like entertaining to watch, even when he's just like, "Yep, I'm gonna do this," and "Yep, I'll do that too," or when he's like playing Skyrim, when he's like saying he's gonna gobble people's souls and like just like little things that are so funny. And I've started to, I don't know if you do this, Anthony, but I've, at least for me, I can like tell people's like personal like tics really easily. Like if somebody does, like how I noticed that you always do like some hand thing whenever you start our podcast, or like how certain people will say things certain ways. But I've started to notice like little tics that he has. Like when he doesn't know what's going on, he'll say hello.
So you're a stalker.
Well, I just notice it. And then it's like one of those things when I'll tell people like, "Hey, do you notice that when like she talks, she does this?" And they're like, "No, I never noticed that, and now that you pointed it out, I always will."
Yeah,
It's like that kind of thing. So I usually don't
that's
talk
funny.
about it because then people are like, "Well, now I can tell." But yeah, so I've just been doing that. I've been binging YouTube videos, just like strange ones that I don't know any of the people that are associated, but I'll just like watch what's going on in the YouTuber world. I love YouTuber drama. It's so interesting. I don't know if you are into like YouTubers in general, but
Eh,
YouTuber drama is so funny. I think it's my version of like a trash reality show. Is I just see these people
uh,
make like videos about each other, like commentators. It's so fucking funny.
like who's your go-to? Is it like Keemstar?
Oh God,
I
no.
hate
I
that
would
guy.
no. It's not like that. It's not like drama channels. It's usually like commentary channels.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but yeah, it's like people calling other people out. It's not him. He's fucking annoying. But there's I don't know. There's just different kinds of drama. There's like people that review like YouTuber books that are really bad, and a lot of like I was watching this one really long video about Lele Pons and just like bad YouTubers and people are like making fun of them. And I've also been just rewatching a lot of YouTubers that I like Drew Gooden and Danny Gonzalez, Cody Ko. Like I watch all their videos again. But yeah, it's strange to me that they're not like super I guess they are super famous, but they're just all so funny. I
Yeah.
love them. They're amazing. And they give us this content for free. It's wild. But
Well,
yeah, so that's what I've been doing. What have you been watching?
not a whole lot. I started a new internship, so I've been focusing my time on that, but just trying to get in the groove of things. When I like get started, I say this all the time, like oh, I'll have more time later, and then I just never do. But
Oh.
hopefully, when I get in the groove of everything, just because it's very new experience, I have more time to watch more things. But
Oh, let's talk
uh,
about your video.
oh yeah, I put out a video. Um,
You're
yeah,
in the vlog squad.
I am not in. I guess they're vlogs. I don't know. I shaved my head. Let's just. I shaved my head and I made a video about it. Now, I don't talk in my videos. That's one thing. One of our guests, Emmanuel Wynn, he was like, "I wish you would talk in your videos, but I, I don't think I could edit a video where I talk.
Do you edit a podcast where you talk?
It's different. They can't see my face when I talk."
I think you just have to get used to it. Like you should just try doing like something really small and just try it because I feel like it'll be weird no matter what.
I tried because it was this one video where I tried to make a really sad video of me making a peanut butter
Oh,
sandwich. I had at
oh
least
man.
150 takes of me just trying to say that I had a new podcast. That's pretty much it. But I
Oh,
couldn't.
God.
I couldn't do it.
It is also painful watching how you make peanut butter sandwiches.
Yeah. Yeah, that too. I tried to make it as dramatic as possible. I don't know, this video it was like it's just all the footage I had from September 2019 up until now. I liked how it came out. It was like weirdly personal for me. I just wanted to put it out.
What
So
is?
the video in itself, I don't know why.
How so?
I don't know.
It felt more personal than the other ones?
For sure.
Hmm.
I don't
Because
know
you're
if it's
shaving
because
your head?
I don't know if it's because I shaved my head. No, no. I kind of been wanting to shave my head. Just it's super easy to maintain. I gotta because I have curly hair, so it's just I gotta
Gotta
do it.
use it for content, baby.
Yeah.
Can't just do it for free.
Well, 56 people have watched it, so
Hey, there you go. If we can get
55 of them.
one for each curl that was cut.
It was worth it. It was all worth it in the end. So yeah, I worked on that.
What
That was fun to work.
videos? What other videos are you wanting to do?
I don't know. I can't think of anything. There's no more hair for me to shave, so
There you go.
can't do that. I don't know. It's a weird. I just don't know what to make. I don't do anything.
It's also such a weird time because I feel like me and you have had conversations off air about where we want to make something now. Like I feel like there's still some there's something to be used in the whole like Skype thing that it's been done before, but I feel like there's something new that could be done, or even just remotely, like you recording something, me, like asking people to do something, or there's still a
Imagine all
way.
the people.
There you go. Or there's just still a way to like direct, even
Yeah.
when you're remote. Like you could just do it over Skype or whatever, but it's really hard to try to be creative within a confined space, like literally and figuratively. Like
Hmm.
you're I only have this apartment to work with and like some of the outside world, and we only have that in mind when we're writing. Like I always do that where I'm like, okay, but like this scene I want to be in a bakery, but how the fuck are we gonna get a bakery? Like something specific like that. It's always been
Yeah.
really hard for me to confine my imagination to a certain box.
The way I currently, or the way that I think about making videos is I just think of like shots. Like, okay, so for this video specifically, I knew that I wanted to shave my head. I knew I wanted it to like progressively, throughout the video, I progressively shave more and more. And it's just like a time frame where I start shaving my head. It's just like some part of my life cuts back to me shaving my head, some part of my life, that thing, and then it ends with my head fully shaved. And I think of ideas like that, and then I just kind of have footage, and I kind of just melt it together to get what I want. It's a weird cycle. I just think in shots, but I don't know. I liked how it came out. It might seem a little sad, but Cassie or Cassandra, the my friend who worked on the piano for it, she just like sends me pieces, and she's really amazing on piano, and it's fun. I don't know. I had fun making it, so it's out there.
Well, there you
Yeah,
go.
that's what I've been working on as far as watching. I finished Solar Opposites.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it's really funny.
Wasn't the episode where it was completely in that little like wall that they have? Wasn't that fucking insane?
That was
And
awesome.
like such a good story too. And
Yeah,
how they did like if you read the description, it doesn't even talk about the wall. It talks about how like the family got into a wacky thing that ended up with them getting a bear, and they never even showed it. They showed the beginning of them like getting up and the end of like whatever they did.
yeah. Even the title of the episode is like that too, where it
So
just
good.
yeah. That's the whole just another world. It's just that's really funny, and that's awesome. Uh,
I might watch it again.
I
It's
really
so
like the end
funny.
of the eighth episode, like the end of the season when the
Oh,
pupa,
remind me.
the
Oh yeah.
pupas.
I had to like rewind it for something. Oh, I like when they brought in the Simpsons. When
Oh
they're like,
yeah,
yeah, and when we did a cross episode with the Simpsons.
and the monsters from Space Jam.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I forgot about
yeah, that was really funny. Man, Thomas Middleditch is such a good. He's a good voice actor. He's just a good
that.
person.
I saw on his stream that he was saying that he was watching it too because whenever he was whenever he was recording, they didn't like give him any scenes or anything. So he only knew what he was recording, and so he's starting to watch it now. That must be so fun to work on something and not see the full thing and then get to
Yeah,
experience that with everybody.
it's funny too because I wonder if some of Thomas's lines they sound like they were recorded on like Zoom or something, especially towards the end of the season. Like it doesn't have that high quality, or I mean it's still high quality, but it's like almost I don't know if it's just how I listen to it. Like I was listening through my AirPods, but I don't know if they recorded remotely for like towards the end of the seasons or the end of the season because it just sounded a little grainy, but I don't know. Really funny show. I'd recommend.
Very good. Very easy to just sit through it and watch all of it at once too.
Yeah, and every episode is like 22 minutes, so under half an hour. That's pretty much it. I mean, solar opposites and my hair is gone. It's been golf for a while.
Yeah, and every time I FaceTime you, it's still a shock that your
Me
hair's gone
too.
because
I
your head
I
is so small.
I didn't realize how much I run my hand through my hair. When I wake up, I like try to fix it, but there's nothing to be fixed because it's so short.
I was just about to tell you too. The other day I started this is going to be the hair corner, but I got a silk pillowcase finally because you're supposed to like
Oh,
sleep with a silk pillowcase. I have another one, so maybe I'll try to find a way to get it to you.
I've been meaning to get one. Like,
I have an extra one because I only sleep on one pillow, so like I actually might I was thinking of going and like because I'm off Memorial Day and like what the fuck else am I gonna do? I might go to San Antonio and like we can eat dinner together through the window
that'd be
like
fun.
with everybody. I might just go and do that. Just visit people, but like not go near them. Um but anyway, so I got one. And it does kind of help, but I have like a new hair routine. And I was about to tell you about it, but I was like, wait, he's fucking bald.
Don't even tell me about it, bro. I don't even need to know.
It's kind of different though because well, maybe not. I don't know, but when you grow your hair back, let me know because I'm right now in the middle of experimenting with this new hair routine, so I'll let you
Yeah.
know.
When it comes back, I'll talk. Or
All
maybe
right,
I got to
cool.
do like the opposite. Maybe I just got to grow it out like yours. Get super long.
Stop.
No, I won't. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know if you have anything else before we cut to Bruce.
No?
All right then. Well, like I said, Bruce is on this episode. Bruce, good friend. So we'll cut it to that. Welcome, Bruce.
Hello.
How are you doing during these trying times?
I'm doing all right. I mean, it gets pretty boring to be at home, but other than that, like, I mean, there's not much for me to do other than like walk my dog and just watch stuff, play games.
What have you been watching?
Recently, it's honestly just been a lot of like nothing really new. It's mostly just stuff that I've already watched before. Like the other day, I watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off with my brother, and then I watched Hereditary like a third or fourth time.
Fantastic.
How do you pick what you watch? Because
Um,
now I feel like there's so many options, and now everybody kind of is forced to watch them rather than just like ditch it and go to a bar or something. So how do you usually pick?
Actually, most of the time it's usually just other like my other family members picking like what is it? My dad bought Disney Plus and he was like, "Hey, we should watch The Mandalorian." And I was like, "Okay, let's do that." So we finished that in like a week.
Hmm.
And then my brother was the one that wanted to watch Ferris Bueller's, and I was like, "Okay, I like that movie. It's a pretty good movie." And most of the time, it's I don't know, honestly, it's just going through like Netflix and Amazon and just finding something that looks interesting.
How do you? Because I find this kind of like my biggest issue with going across platforms. I'll like pick something on net. I'll say like, okay, I'm gonna look Netflix today, and I'll just try to. I'll spend like honestly hours trying to find something to watch. How do you like transition between platforms pretty easily? Because I find it super hard.
I don't think it's that bad because usually since I use the PlayStation or whatever, so
Uh,
everything is pretty much there in the little like TV settings, so I can just switch around really fast if I need to.
because that's my biggest issue.
I do. I don't. This is kind of probably. It sounds psychotic, but what I do is I usually will like watch something on Netflix, and then whenever I want to watch something else, like a movie or a show, I'll go to like my Roku has a certain order. It has Netflix, and then I think Hulu, Amazon. Like it has a bunch of different stuff that I watch from, but I'll go down the list if that makes sense.
Gotcha. One from
Like I'll
every.
watch, yeah, like I'll watch from Netflix, and then I'll go to Hulu and I'll watch something there. Unless it takes me too long to find something, then I'll switch to Amazon. So maybe that'll help you out. I also just do a lot of research and like I'll if I want to find something on Hulu, I'll just like type like new things on Hulu or the best movies on Hulu on like Google or something, because the platforms themselves are not good at showing what's new or what you might like.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That makes sense.
I was waiting for you, Anthony, but I can get into it. So,
Go for it.
what? So, would you say that the movies that you've been watching, like Ferris Bueller, or the shows like The Mandalorian, are those comfort watchings for you, or what do you usually watch whenever you want to comfort yourself?
When I want to comfort myself, I think it's usually just either funny or just really dumb stuff. You know, like what is it? Like I think recently I've been watching a lot of Community, and I don't know
Oh,
why I haven't like, you know, it's been out for. It feels like it's been out for a while, and I just got around to actually watching it, and it's just, you know, I can put it on if I'm lazy. I don't really have to pay attention to it entirely. It's just kind of playing in the background.
yeah.
Are you just now like discovering it, or you're rewatching it?
Like a while ago, I remember they put it on Netflix, and I watched the first episode, and for some reason, I just couldn't get into it. Like I didn't really like it, and then I was just like, you know what, I might as well try it again, and I actually stuck to it and watched it.
Where you at now?
Right now, let me actually. Never mind, I can't. It'll take too long to turn on the PlayStation, but I think I'm like a season in, maybe.
Hmm.
Oh,
Right now, I just finished watching an episode where they're doing pottery and there's a sailing class or something like that.
yeah. Man, that show is like, I really like that show. I watched it. I watched it pretty recently. It's like probably beginning of or like last summer. I think I watched it. Me and Kayla watched it, and that's a really funny show.
I
Towards
think
the end,
another. Oh no, go ahead.
towards the end, it gets a little crazy. I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but
I feel like I've seen like 2 seasons of that show maybe, and I don't like to start a show that is fully like finished if the ending is bad. And what I've heard, and I could be wrong, but what I've heard is that the ending is not great. Like the trajectory it goes down is not amazing because of the whole like Dan Harmon, like the creator being fired and whatnot. And I just don't really want to get involved with a show like that if it's not going to be at least decent all the way through. But correct me if I'm wrong. Is it worth it?
I think so. I was invested in the characters, so I was interested.
Maybe
No,
I'll
I
get
think
into it.
I think I get what you mean when you say you don't want to start something and like you know just to end it on a bad note, I guess. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I feel like I really like when everything's sort of done. I remember like I started watching Breaking Bad like super late by the time everything it was all on Netflix, and I watched it and I loved being able to like, you know, there'd be a cliffhanger and I could just go to the next show and I'd be binge watching it like all the time. But I remember I think my parents had watched it like when it was just, you know, like when it was new and stuff, and they said that they hated having to wait. You know, it's like every week they had to wait and to watch the next episode, stuff like that.
You see, I didn't mind it because I Breaking Bad is one of the shows that I think I got into it later, but like my parents had always watched it live. And by the time it was the last season, I was watching it live. And I did kind of hate having to wait, but I liked being able to like when you watch something live, there's this shared community of people watching it with you, and I kind of liked
Yeah,
that you know, like if you're watching Community now, you don't really you know people are watching, but you don't really know how many people or where they're at or if they're in the
yeah.
same spot as you. And I kind of miss that about shows. Being able to watch the finale and knowing that everybody is watching it too and having the same sort of experience.
Mm. I think I know
So
what you're talking about. Like, I did the same with Mr. Robot and with Better Call Saul, like the other Breaking Bad-ish sort of show, where you just watch it live, and it is nice to you know be able once it's done, you can go online and like there are already people tweeting about like, oh, so what do you think about that one thing that happened in the show?
yeah.
The last big show I remember that happening. I mean, that happened for Mandalorian, but it was a little different because you, they put it out and you didn't necessarily watch it at this like they just put it out and you could watch it whenever,
Yeah.
like episode by episode. So it wasn't like it was airing at a specific time. So like no, not everyone started at the same time. But Game of Thrones is like the last big show I remember.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I've had a lot of discussions with a bunch of people on whether or not, because I think there is you lose some kind of hype when you dump an entire season of a show on Netflix or on any platform, because I don't know, you kind of, like how you guys are saying, you lose that enthusiasm,
Yeah.
that the collective, everyone's watching it. I don't know, it's maybe it's just because we used to watch TV together with our family.
Hmm.
Yeah. I also feel like it depends on the kind of show. Like Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad, the shows that we're discussing are epic shows that have those plot twists or have those moments that are kind of like viral, but not without being viral kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like, you're like on the edge of your seat. But then there's certain shows, like the one I can think of right now that I watched in one sitting is called Solar Opposites on Hulu.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh.
it's not, that one is like, even if it was airing on TV like every week, I wouldn't necessarily be like, "Oh, what's gonna happen?" It's
Yeah.
just, it's one of those things that I do want to watch all at once, maybe like a Community or like The Office, or like I feel like those aren't as catered to watching it live or watching it whenever it's happening.
Yeah.
Well, speaking about watching things live, sort of, I guess. When is the last time you remember going to the movie theaters, and what movie was it?
The last time I think it was I went to go watch Uncut Gems with my friends,
Ooh.
and that was really fun. And I remember, what is it? We left the movie theater and we went to a Chinese restaurant, and this old lady passed out, and they had to, like, an ambulance got called in like right as we were getting there, and it was just really weird. It wasn't really related to the movie thing, but it was just really weird that it happened.
The Safdie Bros directed your night.
She also saw Uncut Gems and couldn't take it. Honestly, that's how I felt after I watched it. I was like, I need a
Yeah, it
moment.
was.
That's really funny. Somehow it's related.
I just remember, what is it? Because I know they directed Good Time, right? That was on Netflix.
Yeah.
And I watched Good Time like maybe a week after I watched Uncut Gems, and I felt a little bit let down. Like, Good Time was a really good movie, but I just feel like I should have watched Good Time first, and then Uncut Gems would have been like that much better if that would have been the second one I watched.
Hmm.
I could see that.
I could, yeah, I mean, I think they're very similar, but I feel like depending on what kind of movies you like, you would like one more than the other. Like,
Yeah.
I think I gravitate more towards Uncut Gems. I did have the same experience of watching Uncut Gems first, and then like I think almost a week after, maybe like a month after, I watched Good Time, but I didn't hate, like I wasn't disappointed. I think I liked it probably just as much watching it at home, but I did wish that I had that experience of watching it in the theaters like I did with Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
Because I feel like those movies, they're movies you can enjoy anytime, but I feel like when you watch it in a theater and you can feel everybody else's energies around you
Yeah.
also stressed, it makes it a little bit better. But yeah, I get that. I love Good Time though.
They're so similar, but they're so different at the same time. Like they
Yeah.
have the same atmosphere, but they're completely different, which is wild. Yeah, I don't know. I want to go back and rewatch. I wonder if they should do like a double feature. That'd be a good double feature, like in
Oh
theaters.
God.
Actually, it'd be stressful.
Could you handle it?
uh, I have no idea. I feel like I'd get tired, honestly. I
Yeah.
like I keep after a movie alone, always feel tired for some reason.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. I can't like, people that watch like multiple movies, or people that are like, let's watch all the Lord of the Rings movies in one sitting. Like, I could never do that. I don't have the energy.
That's a little intense to watch all those movies because aren't they like 5 hours each?
Yeah, those especially.
Well,
Let's
that's a
watch.
good question. What movie do you wish, other than Good Time, what movie do you wish you would have seen in theaters rather than watching it at home for the first time?
Theaters. I have no idea. I'm trying to think of like a newer movie that I had watched at home rather than watching at the movies. But actually, Hereditary, another one, definitely for sure, because
Oh yeah.
that one would have been very. I don't know.
That
It
was a
just.
really fun. I saw it in theaters and it was a really fun experience. I loved watching in theaters.
I remember
Just all the
watching. Yeah.
Sorry, go
No,
on.
no, no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, just like all the moments that you would think are crazy when you watch them in theaters, like just how you think, that the scene in the car, like exactly how
Yeah.
you would imagine people would react is exactly how it happened. So it was very fun to just experience that with people and be able to like sigh and or not sigh, but like what's the word?
Gasp.
Gasp, not sigh. Be able to gasp and like not be dramatic to sigh and yawn
Uh,
and go to bed. But yeah, I loved that watching and also Midsummer. That
Yeah.
was really good too. I think Anthony, you watched it with us, right?
we saw it like 3 times in the theater.
Oh yeah, I did see it a lot of times. But the first time watching it was the funnest because it was with our family and
Oh.
but no, like we watch my parents are not like I don't care like I'll watch anything with them. It's not really
Yeah.
awkward anymore. But the thing that was funny is we had like a small theater and it wasn't like full. There was a few people in there. And Midsummer is like a really it is a really gory and horrific movie, but it's really, really funny. And I feel like almost the whole time my entire family was laughing and everybody that was there was horrified. Like nobody else was laughing except for us.
Yeah.
So that was fun to for people to be like horrified that we thought it was hilarious.
It's definitely weird also watching the movies when you can't like with the sex scene that was like however long. I forgot it in Midsummer. It felt
Oh, yeah.
I remember like what is it like compared to watching a movie at home, you can just kind of fast forward, you can kind of but when you're at the movies obviously you can't do that. You just kind of have to sit there and thankfully I was with friends so we could like look over at each other and like like what's going on.
Get
But
a load of
Oh.
this guy.
yeah.
I mean, I feel like that was the part that my family and I laughed the like hardest.
Yeah.
It was all
Bruce
pretty
thinks
ridiculous.
we're disgusting.
I mean, that's fine.
I have to go, guys.
It's like nice talking to you.
Man, I want to see Scoob in theaters.
Honestly, from what I've heard, I've just heard that it was bad. I had most people that I've watched it have either said that it's just not that like, or it's like really. I forgot what the word is. It's just really full of like maybe ads or something. I don't know. I don't know what the
Oh,
exact
Oh, the product placement is heavy.
something like that. Something along those lines is what I've heard. I haven't watched or seen any of like the movie at all.
I didn't realize the voice actors for that was like ridiculous. Like Zac Efron is Fred,
really?
Gina Rodriguez is Velma, maybe.
Really?
Like ridiculous people. Like why?
Interesting. Oh, I did see that somebody was like they tweeted that two screenshots. One was of the guy that did the live action Shaggy, and he was saying like, "Oh, this is so
Oh
cool. I
yeah.
hope it does well." And then another one was a screenshot of the woman who's played, I think it was Velma. She's played her for like 20 years. She's done her voice. And she was saying like, "Oh, this is the first time that I haven't played her in an animation, but I hope it does well. I hope it's like a great movie." Or she was saying she can't watch it herself because
Yeah.
she couldn't like see somebody do it other than her, and they were like the person that tweeted was like, holy shit, this is so fucking
Yeah.
sad. Like all these people that have been involved and like that is kind of ridiculous. I guess this is a rabbit hole we can go down, but that is kind of ridiculous to have such iconic characters and all the people that have played them are, from what I can tell, they're alive. Like you could
Yeah.
get maybe a mixture of who played them in like the live action one versus the animation one, but like that is part of what makes those cartoons really good is the voice acting
Yeah.
and how distinct each voice is. So that's so strange that they would hire like actors to do that.
I think
So
it's
weird.
another thing about having like the you know, I mean, obviously, I'm assuming those people, the people that originally did the voice actors, you know, people would be able to recognize them if they were like sufficiently into, you know, I don't know, the whole Scooby Doo like acting and whatnot. But you know, most people just see like they see Zac Efron, they see these actors, and they're like, oh, you know what? That's a good actor. I saw him in this other movie. You know, I might give it a try. I might watch it.
I
Sure.
guess, but that's kind of a strange thing to like when you're marketing a kids movie. Because I guarantee if you ask a 7-year-old who Gina Rodriguez is, they're not gonna fucking know. So like I get that in a sense, but they kind of have to look at the audience. Like kids are not gonna care that like like for Inside Out, kids are not gonna care that Amy Poehler is the main character. They
Yeah.
don't give a shit. They care that it's a good movie. So I guess I understand that like name recognition, but this also isn't a new concept. If you say Scoob, then people are gonna be like, oh, it's about Scooby Doo. Like it's not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I understand the like, I guess ideas behind it, but and also if you're not gonna have if it's not a good movie in general, then like,
Yeah.
who cares?
Wow. I wanna see a new Megamind.
Oh
The
my
new
god.
Megamind.
Yeah.
Megamind is it was I think I put it on as 5 stars on my letterbox. I actually I actually really like that movie. I don't know
See,
why.
people always say that, and I don't. Some like y'all's generation. I don't know if it's a joke or not.
This is a legit good movie.
It's a good
Oh,
movie.
that's like when Anthony and David would always talk about Surfs Up, and I'm like, is that? Are you joking or is
Oh,
it good? And
I heard David
I
talking about
finally,
Surf's Up.
yeah, and I finally saw it, and I get it now. Like it's a good movie, but like for 20-year-olds to keep telling me that Surfs Up is a great movie, I don't know if I should understand.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. As a kid, I really loved Surf's Up, but I think it was mainly what like penguins have been my favorite animal for like so long. So anything with a penguin in it, I was like, this is the best thing ever. Except
Happy
Happy
Feet.
Feet. No, not Happy Feet.
He's like, you said
I
happy
don't
fuck happy feet.
I don't know why Happy Feet. I just like I remember I
Yeah.
went to the movie. It was like my dad took me to the movie. He's like, "You're gonna love this movie. There's penguins in it." And I fell asleep like 20 minutes in, and I woke up at the end of the movie, and I have never rewatched it. But I just know from those first 20 minutes, I was like, I did not like it. I mean, it wasn't entertaining enough to keep me awake.
But speaking about casting, that has a really good cast. If you look at the cast list, like a
I
surprisingly good cast.
I love
Like
Happy
Surf's
Feet.
Up or Happy Feet?
Happy Feet actually Surfs Up too.
I
They
love
have a lot
Happy
of good.
Feet.
What about the second
Lovelace?
one?
I don't talk about it. We don't talk about it. That's what's getting me through isolation is Happy Feet. I need to rewatch it.
Are you watching it right now off screen? Is that what? Keep
Yeah.
looking off screen.
No, no. I wish, honestly. Second monitor. What?
Right, those are all my questions. You got any more, Anthony?
Well, Happy Feet's getting me through isolation, but what helped? What do you miss about your life pre-isolation?
Isolation. I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, I would just say going outside and like doing stuff. You know, like even with family, my family would be like, "Oh, every Friday, let's go out to eat somewhere." And so we'd go out to eat and we'd just be outside of the house or with friends, you know, we'd go to like the stores or something. And now it's like realistically, other than walking my dog or like playing with him outside in our backyard, like I don't go anywhere. My parents are usually like, "Oh, we'll take care of the groceries," and we're like, "Are you sure we can go?" And they're like, "No, it's just better if we go by ourselves." So it's like
Mm.
even that, it's just kind of like there's not much to do other than watch stuff, play stuff, hang out with
Yeah.
a dog.
That's a good point. I don't think I realized until now how much I just went to the store just to go to the store. Like how many times I'm like, I just want to go to HEB, but like I don't need anything. I just want to go.
Yeah.
I just want to buy a pack of gum.
Target trips are
Oh my
always an
god, I miss them.
essential.
I'm gonna honestly, I feel like this whole experience is making me so insane that I'm gonna get emotional next time I go to Target. Like I'm gonna be like, oh my god, I can't. I I can't
In
handle this emotion.
in line to get a popcorn. Just can
You're
I
like, ma'am, are you okay? I missed you guys.
get her 2
Well,
bags? She's gonna need it.
to try to be a little bit more positive though, what is one thing that one positive thing that you can see coming out of this? Like, for example, for me, I think this whole experience is making me reevaluate kind of what I thought was important in my life versus what wasn't. And it's kind of like a meme now, but like I wish I would have said yes to those plans that I said no to like 5 months ago. But I think it's starting to make me like, after this, I'll be more appreciative of my friends, and I'll just like drop by one of my friends' house and like give them like a, I don't know, like a basket of fruit. You know, like I feel like I'll do more like nice things, and I'll just be more grateful for the people in my life. So what is one thing that you think that you'll take positive out of this experience?
I think it's just having to do stuff, or like I like making music and stuff like that. So it's like, sometimes I get off track and I distract myself. So I'm like, oh, I'll go do something else. I'll go, or with shows, I'm like, oh, I'll put this on my watch list. I'll watch it later. But now that I'm stuck inside, it's like I have to do that, and I think that's kind of a good thing, because then it's like, there are a lot of shows, or like I started watching Dead to Me, and I really like that show. But I feel like if it weren't for the quarantine, I probably wouldn't have even started it until like way later.
Oh, that's true. And that's a good point too about like people that are creative or creatives, I guess. Like that, I feel like now we're starting to be like, okay, well, I can write or I can make music, and during this time,
Yeah.
even though I really want to procrastinate and just watch a show or whatever. And at least for me, I hope that translates after, when I'm able to do whatever I want, that I'll
Yeah.
still be like, yeah, but I should sit down and write. So we'll see. I'm never gonna write another word after this is done.
No, I think that's all the questions I had.
Yeah, same. Do you have anything to plug?
Yeah.
To plug? Not really. I can't think of anything.
Letterboxd?
Letterbox. I mean, what is it? It's simulating. So I think that's the ad for my letterbox. Is simulating. Same with my Twitter. Other than that, I mean, I don't really have anything to plug.
Perfect. Well, thank you for coming.
Yeah. Right.
We'll hear back from you later in the episode, though.
Okay.
Right now, let's cut to the main episode of us talking about the lodge.
Yeah.
And we're back. Hello again.
Howdy.
Let's get into it. So this week's movie is The Lodge, which came out in 2019. These director and writer names are difficult, so bear with me. So it was directed by Severin Fiala. I'm so sorry. And Veronica Franz. Oh, that was not bad. It was also written by those two people and Sergio Koski. Oh, God. All right, and so
CASCI.
go to their IMDb. I'm so sorry. This is not going to help. But there you go. Principal cast is Riley Keough, who plays Grace, Jaden Martell, who plays the son, I don't remember his name, and Leah McHuff, who plays the daughter named Mia. And it's about a soon-to-be stepmom who is snowed in with her fiance's 2 children at a remote holiday village. Just as relations begin to thaw between the trio, some strange and frightening events take place.
And indeed they do.
I couldn't find the estimated budget, but I did find what it made. In opening weekend, it made about 76,000. In the U.S., it grossed about 1.6 million, and worldwide, it grossed about 2.6 million. So, not too bad for a limited release indie.
Not at all.
As far as it was received by critics, it got a 6.1 out of 10 on IMDb, 74% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 64% on Metacritic. So, you kind of love it or you hate it, kind of thing.
Yeah. Interesting.
Oh, right.
IMDb is a 6 instead of a 7.
I know, which I don't think it deserves that much of a jump, but sure. All right. So I took notes. I took quite a few. What about you?
I do not have as many as you do. I'm looking at yours.
Okay. All right, well, I'll just go through mine and just jump in whenever you want. Okay, so my first note is about how we start off in a dollhouse, and I know that Hereditary didn't invent these kind of miniature dollhouses, but I remember this is my second time seeing it, so I remember the first time I watched it, when I saw this dollhouse, I thought it was a little too similar at first. I think it made me not really like the movie from the very get-go. I was like, oh, this doesn't feel as original, but I gave it some. I didn't hate it from the get go. I was like, not a fan, but we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, very, very much so. Hereditary vibes. That's my first note.
But yeah. Um. Okay, so it starts off with at the mom's house. So we can kind of assume that they're divorced because the mom is the one who's getting the kids ready to go to their dad's. They have this really weird, or not weird, this really sad scene where she's getting ready, putting on her lipstick, looking in the mirror, and she starts crying, and you can just instantly tell that she's not in a great place. And they're driving to the dad's house. The kid has a little creepy doll that's basically a replica of the mom that has her same dress on, by the way, which is very
Oh,
creepy.
I didn't know that.
I don't know if it's the exact same dress, but they're very similar dresses.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, so they get to the dad's house and instantly he wants to talk to the mom. And then they bring up her. They just say her. And when the mom drives up, she sees a figure in the house. And then
yeah,
she walks away, and then when she gets to the kitchen, she sees a girl walking to the garden, which is
yeah,
strange, and I really love the mystery that they bring to, and we only know her. I think Actually, I think this is a moment where they say that her name is Grace, but I really love that we don't see her face and they kind of make it really mysterious. It gives a
yeah.
good it makes us instantly I like that directors did this because it makes us instantly what's the word?
Maybe.
Suspicious.
Oh, yeah. But it also made me empathize with the mom because she's like, you're put exactly in her shoes.
Oh, and you can't see her face, but you can tell she's younger.
Yeah,
Just by her hair and I don't know, you can just tell that, or maybe that was just me thinking that
yeah.
she's younger, but so he's putting I like this scene too because he's in the kitchen, he's putting one of those little tablets into his water. um and I don't know if you caught this, Anthony, but when people use stuff like that, it's because they're hungover. So
Uh,
they had a night out, or they had a good night or whatever,
oh,
and she's alone at home crying in her bathroom, so that's a good way to show that, rather than being oh, we had people over, I'm sorry,
I didn't know that. That's a good detail.
yeah. But in the kitchen, that's when he tells the mom that he wants to finalize their divorce so that he can marry the other girl, and the wife leaves because she's fucking pissed.
I just want to have a quick note.
Yeah.
Just the thing that stood out to me about this movie is two things. The first is kind of not minor, but uh, more of an afterthought is the color in it. It's like very, I don't know, dull almost. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's like a
It's
lot
kind
of
of cold.
movies. Yeah, a lot of movies have this, but when you pair that with the kind of camera positions that they had, it was very. I really liked it. It was almost like we were watching from security cameras.
Mm.
When the mom first gets there and he wants to talk to her, so he gives the kids some money so they can go and get candy. That shot specifically, it seems like we're watching almost like a Paranormal Activity camera, like that same shot
It's
angle.
kind of like using, in Hereditary, it's kind of like using a dollhouse
Yeah.
sort of framing, which I don't mind. I think now, after seeing all of the movie, I don't mind it as much because I'm such a diehard stan of Hereditary, I was kind of like, okay, this is too derivative. But now that
Mhm.
I've seen all of it, I don't think it is at all, and I think they do it a little bit differently. Um, and
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
like I mean, Hereditary didn't write it didn't like own dollhouses, or it is not even a dollhouse in that one. It's a miniature set.
Yeah. But
But yeah.
that was the very major thing that I noticed was just the really interesting camera work that they did. Whenever, because even their kitchen, like the kitchen that he's in, is very interesting. How it's like almost like the cabinets and everything on the left side of the frame is all like flesh with the wall.
Hmm.
The way that it's like a high angle, like the camera is high, but it's like pointing down high angle. Uh, very
It's also
unique.
a really short ceiling.
Yeah.
Very
Uh,
strange.
I don't know. I really liked that aspect of it because of like it fit well with the color in it.
Yeah, when I picture this movie, I see it in like blues. Like I
Hmm.
feel like when I see like sometimes when I see movies, I see colors of them, and like Midsummer, I see like oranges and yellows and whites. And for this one,
Hmm.
it's like blue and gray and brown.
There were some parts that I kind of got some Midsummer like deja vu almost. Like when they were, I'll talk about it later, but maybe I won't. But when they drive to
Don't threaten me.
the lodge,
Yeah.
I was getting
Oh, you know what? Yeah, this entire movie reminds me so much of the first part of Midsummer where they before they go to
yeah,
I forgot where they went. But yeah, it is very reminiscent of that for me.
especially like the first scene because it's like in Midsummer they have that tapestry and then it
Hmm.
cuts away and it's just a snowy or is it snowy
Yeah, it's snowy.
neighborhood. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen this type of camera movements, or if I have, not with that specific type of like color grading. That's something I liked. I liked in it, and they kind of maintained it throughout. And like it was kind of felt really cramped, especially in the very end.
Yeah. Well, and another thing that reminded me of Midsummer actually is the next scene where it is um it's very jarring where the mom comes back to her house and she's like she's tidying up and she's drinking wine, and then all of a sudden she takes out a gun and shoots herself, and it's very out of nowhere. And part of me was kind of like, when I first saw it, I was like, I don't know if that was necessary. It was in the end, but I don't know, it was just so jarring, and I've never seen it happen like that before in a scary movie. It was so calm and it came out of nowhere, but it did remind me of Midsummer.
Yeah, how just the ritual, the sacrificial aspect.
Or yeah, just like how the very beginning, like that shot of uh the daughter like having the mask and like the gas
Oh,
that it was just how that movie started like that, and it started very like um grim, and
yeah.
this movie did too. And this
Okay.
movie stayed that way. Midsummer got a little bit brighter and it like got funny, and then it got really grim, but that's what it reminded me of, is there's a clear cut between the tragedy and then what happened before and after,
Gotcha.
you know. um another thing another thing too is there's a really good scene. So they have the funeral, and then there's a really good scene where the daughter is crying, like unconsolably crying, and that kind of is like in Midsummer where Florence Pugh's character is crying and her boyfriend's trying to console her, but she's like yelling, and the daughter is just concerned. She keeps yelling that she can't get into heaven now, and the
Yeah.
brother's watching. And that's something too that was surprising about this movie, that I was expecting, or that I wasn't expecting, was how was the sibling dynamic. How they were like, I think they were just so nice to each other the entire time. I was expecting the beginning or any part of it that they were going to be mean to each other, but even at the very beginning when nothing happened, the brother was like super nice to her.
Yeah, he like pulled like on that doll. He like pulled the arm off, like jokingly, and she was like, "You're lucky. It'll just go right back." And then
Like I was
yeah,
expecting him to like throw it out the window or something. Maybe that just speaks to our like sibling relationship, but
burn
yeah,
it.
they were just like super nice to each other. Pull out the hair.
Yeah,
But yeah, they were like super nice. And that was a cute moment too where after she's crying and he goes to his room, gets his blanket, and then he like sleeps on her floor and
yeah,
they're holding hands. That was really sweet. But then they ruined that very quickly. So then there's a time jump of I think 6 months.
yeah.
And the dad has an incredibly bad idea that his kids he has to know they're gonna fucking hate this. But he wants to go to their lodge because of course they have a lodge and bring his new girl or his girlfriend, but he tells them that he wants to get married to her. And obviously they're fucking pissed.
Yeah.
They're so and then another thing too that I caught this time and I don't remember from the first time, but the son says that she's a psychopath.
Mm-hmm.
And they haven't really said much about her. That's kind of the first thing that we notice is that he says that she's a psychopath for whatever reason. And so it was so interesting to me. I like how they set up this dynamic because from the get go, I was like, wait, why is she a psychopath? Like,
Yeah.
what happened? I thought something happened, but yeah, I don't know. So that was interesting.
I mean, you kind of learned. You kind of learn soon after when they watched that video.
Yeah, I guess we can get into it when we get to the video, but it doesn't make sense to me to think that she's a psychopath for that, though. I wouldn't characterize her for that. Because the way he says it is so okay, so I understand what he means. The way he says it though is so like is kind of like a slur, like he's trying to say she's a psychopath when like all of the things that happened to her. She didn't do anything.
I don't know. It like
Do you want to wait? Do you want to get to the? I have like two more notes and then we get to the video.
yeah. Take your
Okay.
notes. Do your little
Well,
notes.
so the next thing is that I understand that the kids are upset, right? And they want to point it at something. But they must know that this is not her fault. I mean, maybe they don't because they're kids, but like what happened to their mom is really sad, but it's not her fault.
I think how they see it, they completely view it as her fault. Like from their perspective, that her mom and dad separated. Her dad has a new girlfriend.
The mom is sad.
The mom is sad. They
Yeah, and
kill
like
themselves. She kills herself, and then he's like, "I want to marry." 6 months later, which I don't know. That's a conversation for like another podcast. But like,
yeah, I mean, it is not in great taste, but like I at this point, so I guess all that note just means like I understand where they're coming from, and at this point in the movie, I do sympathize with them. And
mhm.
I do understand that they have this anger because I mean losing a mom and losing her in that way, that must be really rough. So they have this anger and they want to point it at somebody, so might as well point it at the other woman, right? Or the
Yeah,
homewrecker. So I get that. And this is the point where we find out that she's a cult survivor, and the reason that their dad even knows her is because he wrote a book about what happened to her. So she was the subject of his book, basically, which
I did not even know that.
you didn't?
No.
It is kind of like a throwaway line, but yeah, so he wrote a book about her cult. That's how we met her. Come on.
Oh.
Pay attention. Pay attention.
Well, yeah. Well, okay. So what I was gonna say is, especially when you're younger, I feel like it's easy to assume if anyone's in a cult that they're gonna be psychopathic.
Yeah, but like I mean, maybe this is just like I understand. I don't know. The kids, I think they must understand that. I don't know. I mean, it kind of they show it in them like saying grace at to the table, right? Or like the daughter crying so much because she thinks her mom won't get into heaven. Like, not to say, I mean, well, I'm not going to give my opinion on like religious sanctions in this podcast, but if you think about it, that's something that was taught to them, right? Like, it wasn't, the girl just didn't automatically think that like, she didn't come up with the concept of heaven. Somebody had to teach it to her. And
Yeah.
so to me, I feel like they exist within the same reality where that girl thinks that about heaven because her mom taught her. Whatever happened to Grace happened because her dad let it happen. So I understand that he wants to like be mean to her and call her, he probably called her a psychopath just because he's angry, but I don't agree that she is. I think anything that she is now, it was caused by her trauma, if that makes
Oh,
sense.
yeah, for sure.
So that's what I mean when I'm like, I don't. He called her a psychopath, but like now that when as soon as they said cult member, or as soon as they brought up the cult, I was like, oh, she's not a psycho. She just like had a really bad experience.
Yeah, I mean,
I see what you mean though.
I don't
But
know.
yeah, so this video. Do you want to get into the video?
Man, that's a scary video. And I that's got to be it's got to be real.
What?
That like there has to be a video like that somewhere.
Oh yeah, I mean Jonestown.
I got to watch more cult documentaries, but the
The
cults
cults are
scare me.
very scary. Yeah, they're. Is that like the scariest thing to you? I was talking about this to somebody this week, but to me the scariest like stuff to watch is like alien stuff. I can't do it. Aliens creep me out.
A lot is scary. Like cults are probably up there for me because it just feels so real.
I never knew that. That's interesting.
Like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right? The ending, like if a cult breaks into your house and murders you, that's probably just anyone coming in your house while you're sleeping intended to harm you is really scary. Probably top for me. But I don't know. It might also be like the religious aspect of it too. The I don't know the what am I trying to say? The things that push cults to
Mm-hmm.
do what they do, it's scary, and that you can think like that and be so convinced in your ways that I need to murder people or convince them to commit suicide.
It
It's
is.
scary.
Well, and speaking of that, so the video that they're watching, it's the kids watching it in the dad's office. And the video is basically somebody walking around, or they show some of the sermon of the reverend, I think is what his name is. And then they show somebody walking around and they have like somebody laying down with some sort of blue like blanket over them, and the person that's filming it takes it off, and the person is dead, and they have tape over their mouths, and it says the tape,
Sin.
somebody wrote sin. Sins or sin?
It might just be sin.
I don't know. Either way, sin. And then it shows that the person that's filming it is Grace. So she was the lone survivor of this whole mass suicide. Um, so yeah, my next note is that I get after this the kids think that she's some sort of psycho. Like I get that. But like I said, she was their age when all of this happened. So it
Yeah.
happened to her. Like I don't know. I get it, and I think maybe these kids are just too young or not developed enough to understand that, like the psychology of being in a cult. But yeah, at this
Yeah.
point, all I feel is like I'm like, okay, maybe this girl's crazy. I don't know. We haven't met her yet. We haven't even seen her fucking face.
Yeah.
Um, but also we should be, if we're judging anybody, we should be judging the father
Oh yeah, for sure.
for dating his subject, who's clearly younger, who's who he met because he was writing a book on what happened to her. I don't know. That's very strange.
Yeah, it's scary.
I don't know if I would want to date somebody that I knew that I like, of course, I would want, like, say this was me and Sebastian, right? Like, I would want Sebastian to know if something traumatic like that happened to me, but I don't know if I would want him to like know it so much that he could write a book on it, you know?
Oh yeah,
It's
for
kind of
sure.
too much. But yeah, so oh, and then I took a note too because when they're playing with the dollhouse in this one scene and the mom doll is watching over them. They have it like set up to where she's like looking at them.
What the hell?
I don't know if you caught that, but it's
I did
very
not.
creepy.
That's
Well, if you
super
watch that
creepy.
scene, it's fucking creepy.
Mhm.
Um, and we don't. So after, I think after like they're um, pouting over the whole going to the lodge thing, they finally agree to do it. And they're like packing and ready to go, and then they go pick up Grace, and that's when we first see her face. And I clocked it. It's like 21 minutes and something seconds, but basically we don't see her face until 20 minutes in,
That's cool.
which I love. It's a great decision because it gives her mystery, right? Because they think I don't even know if I think they have met her, but they're like obviously not
Not
a huge
fans.
fans. But I love that they build this mystery of her. But yeah, and so she has a dog named Grady, which is such a cutie. They go to the lodge and they're unpacking, and she brings them gifts. She's like hiding them. She's such a
Yeah.
sweetie. um, yeah, and then they eat dinner, and she kind of not freaks out, but they're eating dinner. The kids they say grace, and it kind of like it kind of doesn't sit with her well. Like you can tell she's kind of like freaked out a little bit. Um, and then they're eating with this like I think it's a painting of like the Virgin Mary or some religious figure, and she gets a nosebleed,
Yeah.
which is not great. But yeah, I don't have much to say about that. I don't know if you did.
Yeah, I mean her when she looks at that portrait, the just the idea that that caused her so much stress that she had a nosebleed, it's it just speaks to the amount of trauma that she's been through, and it's super scary.
It also made me think of you and Sebastian because y'all get nosebleeds all the time.
Oh, what kind of trauma?
Sebastian took one picture. The like one of the times that he had a bad nosebleed, and he took a picture of like blood running down his like face, and he has a picture of it.
That's funny.
Because I told him about how people sometimes when they cry, they'll like take a picture so they can use it as like a meme.
Oh, I never thought of
There you
that.
go. Next time you get one, Anthony.
What's the context?
What do you mean?
Like what? Like what's the caption for that?
Um, you could be like, just listen to the new Strokes album or something. I don't know. I feel like there's something you could do with it. All
Let me
right.
just go cause one. Hold on.
Just what image distresses you out so much that would give you a
Oh
nosebleed? Rob Dyrdek?
no. If I bring it up, we might have to post it. I never thought I'd bring this up on this
What?
podcast.
Oh my god, what?
The bag man. I never thought I'd bring it up. For those of you who don't know, there is a picture on the internet of a kid who's wearing a subway bag for a head, or on his
Tell,
head.
tell us who it really is.
I don't know who it is, but he cut out two holes on it. I will say it does look like it's me wearing the bag, but it is not me. I promise you that.
It
That's why
looks
it's stressed.
exactly like you. Like
It
not
does.
even I think whenever I saw it, I was like somebody sent it to me and I thought you were joking.
Someone tagged me in one of the posts and was like, "Is this you?" I said, "No." And he said, "Oh, I thought my boy made it famous." It's not me.
You could see it too though.
I really could, but
It looks exactly like you.
We have to post it now.
I will post it.
Damn.
Hey, you brought it up. You know what, though? I did one time went down a rabbit hole of trying to find out who it actually is.
I've done that. Yeah, it came up empty. No, it's not me. It really isn't.
Funny. I feel like I want you to. I wonder if you
Recreate
could
it?
edit, or if you could edit a picture or a video of like when she's staring at it, and then edit the
Oh.
picture of the Bagman instead. I feel like that'd be easy to do. I can't do a video, but I could do pictures. We'll see. Maybe I'll do it.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Oh my god, I totally forgot about Bagman. I think I texted you the other day when I was like, just remembered this.
Yeah.
And you know what I was gonna do because your birthday's coming up? Maybe I'll do it like next year if I remember. But I was gonna, you can like, I think I searched it one time and there was like a shirt that had Bagman on it, and I was gonna get it for you. Oh
I would
man, I
not
should have
want
done it. I just want you to have it. I didn't want you to wear it. I think it'd be hilarious. One day, like maybe when you're like getting married or something, and then if there's a slide of pictures of like you and your wife,
That
I'm
is
gonna put
not
that
gonna
in
make.
there.
Oh man.
Oh my god, it's gonna follow you the rest of your life, just because of me.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Bagman. All right. So, okay, so the next day they go ice skating, just like on the lake, I guess. I don't know. There's a bunch of snow. Oh, the dad's like clearing out so they can skate a little bit, and so Grace goes out there. She just picks a random hat, puts it on, goes out there. And as soon as the kids see her, they're like, "Oh, that's our mom's hat." When like, how the fuck is she supposed to know?
That's
I
true.
mean, I guess she could have guessed, but like, it's a hat. And she did take it off as soon as they said it. Took it off and gave it to the daughter. So I don't know. That was
that
kind of annoying.
that was like that was
Of
messed up.
And then the little girl, of course, she gets her fucking doll stuck in the pond or whatever. And then
A fishing
she
hole.
tries to get it. Oh yeah, fishing hole. Did I say pond?
Yeah.
Sorry, fishing hole. So she gets stuck in the fishing hole, and then Grace goes and tries to get it out, and of course she falls into the ice breaks and she falls into the water. And yeah, and she saves the doll. Little girl doesn't say shit. Not a thank you in sight.
Yeah.
I honestly, this movie, just the further it goes on, the more I hate these fucking kids.
Yeah. Kids suck.
And then after that, Dad has great idea number 5, where he wants to leave her alone with them so he can go to work. Which, what does he do? Why is it so important he needs to go and leave his kids with the girl?
I don't
Come on.
know, but it is
So
important that he shows Grace, who he knows has PTSD.
I
The
know,
only
so
gun,
stupid.
and he has it in a safe, a revolver, and the password. The combination is 1 2 3 4 5, or 1 2 3 4. Naturally so.
And then I love though when he like goes to shore to shoot it, and she does it like so. She does it way better than he does. I love that.
Yeah, he did not question that whatsoever. I would definitely be like, "You're gonna be with my kids for the next week or a couple of days. Why do you know that?" He just was like, "Cool,
Right.
I'll see you
Good
later."
on you.
Yeah, that's
And then
definitely question.
and then she has a kind of a good moment with the daughter where she's like asking her, she's telling her about her dog and how she wants a dog, and Grace says that she wanted a dog but her dad is really strict. And the girl, after this great moment, the girl goes and ruins it by showing the Christmas gift for the dad, which is just a video of their dead mom.
Yeah,
Which, I mean, I get. I mean, I don't want to down her for like giving that to the dad as a gift, but like, why would you show her that? You know, it's like a flesh wound, right? I mean, I obviously they're. I from that moment I was like, they're probably fucking with her. I don't know. I just knew something was up with those damn kids. Yeah, and so they have a movie night and they start watching The Thing, which why? And then Grace is like, do y'all want to watch something else? And they put on an equally scary movie, Jack Frost.
He does look scary.
Have you seen that movie?
No.
Oh man, it's a trip. You need to watch it. It's a weird fucking movie. And then they put the gas heater on, and she's covering her nose, and she's like, is it okay to have it in the house?
Yeah,
And,
it's just flame.
and he's like, yeah, that's fine. And so she and the kid. Oh, did I skip the part where he was
You
watching
did.
her in the shower?
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was weird. I probably skipped it because I don't understand. Even after watching the entire thing, I don't get that part at all. Is he
me
just trying to
neither.
creep her out? I
Maybe.
But I don't know, because she was full on naked, her boobs were out, and he was just watching her from the mirror. That was really strange.
She did not cover. I get like she thought she was alone and no one was there, but she didn't. She just didn't try herself.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. Like, I mean, if you're gonna like tie a towel around your waist, it's fine, but like at least pat yourself down.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. Yeah, I didn't care either that she wasn't covering herself because she was supposed to be alone, but it was weird that she didn't dry herself. Um,
Yeah.
but anyways, that happens and they kind of have a fight, but then whenever they're watching the movie, he makes her hot cocoa, which
Hmm.
is a sweet gesture, I guess, but I kind of have some thoughts about it later. Well, I guess I could say it now, but he definitely drugged her.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, but so she wakes up apparently like passing out, and I think she thinks it's because of the gas.
Hmm.
I don't know. Either way, she wakes up and everything's gone. So the decorations are gone, and she's kind of like to the kids, like, "What the fuck, dude? I put those up. You guys are little assholes."
Oh
But then they're
wait,
like, "I don't know."
maybe he watched her so it wouldn't be weird that he gave her cocoa.
What do you mean?
Like he watched her while she was naked, so obviously like there's a weird tension, and he needed some way to drug her, and he needed to have a nice gesture as like a sorry about this. He needed
Why can't
something
he
to say
just give her
sorry.
hot cocoa? Why does he have to watch her when she's naked?
I don't know. Maybe he thought it'd be weird. Why are you giving me cocoa? I don't know. That's
I
my
mean, I
only.
guess.
That's kind of a stretch, but that's the only thing I can think of.
Hmm. But
But yeah,
yeah, and then they just don't have any food.
no food.
And they're eating beans and crackers, which honestly, it's getting to that point in my household right now where I'm eating beans and crackers. But yeah, I kind of skip a lot, but basically they just like don't know what to do. She thinks that she hears the daughter talking and she sees her like on the phone, and so she like rips it away from her, and she's like, "What the fuck?" But then the girl's like, "Well, I just like pretending." And I just wanted to hit that girl so much. I was like, "Girl, oh, I hated her. I hated that
Mhm.
daughter. I hated the son. I hated both of them." Um, but yeah, and so Grace is kind of just losing her mind at this point. And my next note is about when she like wanders off because they don't have the car. The dad also takes the fucking car. What an idiot. He's a moron. I hate the dad too. What would happen if something happened? If there was a medical emergency, what was she gonna do?
Nothing.
Ugh. Anyways, so she wanders around outside trying to find a house or something, or trying to like, I think she was trying to go to town. I don't know what she was doing.
Yeah, she's trying to go to
Um,
town.
and she finds this like house that's shaped as a cross, and I kind of don't understand that part. I don't understand what was significant about it. Maybe it was to like for us to question. Oh, and at this point too, she doesn't have her medicine because she
Oh yeah,
has
she's.
a lot of pills that she takes. Probably like antipsychotics and like stuff that you would assume that somebody that has a bunch of trauma would take to regulate themselves, and she doesn't have that anymore, which on top of that is just stressing her out more. And she's also sleepwalking. I like forgot a bunch of stuff, but yeah, she's sleepwalking. She's playing on the piano in the middle of the night. And she's
Well,
hallucinating, seeing the kids as the people that were like have the sin over their mouths. And
do we know that that house was real? It could have just
well,
been.
that's what I mean. That's what I was getting at. So maybe that's what it served as, is it was trying to show us maybe she's losing it, and maybe it's because of her meds, so maybe that was the like fuel to it. Because two things happen at once. We kind of figure out in the end that it was people fucking with her, but also her not taking her meds had some sort of effect on her, and that could have been it, that she was hallucinating. And I
Yeah,
mean, the house to be shaped as a cross, and the guy inside looked like the Reverend, so
it could be where it all took place, like the other where they all did the mass suicide.
maybe. I did see on a video though, which maybe this is because when I first watched it, I kind of thought that too. Like this part doesn't make any sense, and I don't know how true this is. I haven't like vetted it or like researched it, but I watched a video that said that the directors, when they were filming in the location the lodge was, they found that random house, and they were like, "We need to use this." So part of me maybe thinks if that is true, that they just really wanted to use the house in some way. And it didn't take me out of the film too much that I don't like it, but to me, I feel like I didn't need that part. I
Yeah,
kind of would have liked if they stayed in the lodge the whole time.
that's my only criticism about this movie is it felt a little too long.
Yeah, I think if they cut out that scene of her wandering around, it would have been better.
Yeah. Eh,
Yeah,
you
and
know.
after that, she comes back, and then the kid finds. I think that's when he finds the obituary, right? Or it says it's an obituary, and then a frame that says like, or she finds the frame
She finds it. She finds it in the
buried
snow
in the snow with a bunch of candles,
and flowers. Yeah.
and that's when the kid is trying to convince her that they're dead and that they're in purgatory,
Mm-hmm.
and she is not having it. She says, and a good point too. I don't know much about purgatory. But a good point that she makes is, well, if we're in purgatory, why am I hungry? Why am I cold? Like, I think purgatory means that there's nothing.
Yeah.
But she's still feeling things. And the kid's like, well, maybe that's what this is. Maybe that's what purgatory is. And I think at this point, I started to question if they actually are. Because at first I was like, maybe there's something crazy going on. But when he started to try to convince her that they're in purgatory, that's when I started to question the kids a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think part of me was like, I can't imagine anybody would go to this length to fuck with somebody,
Oh yeah.
especially somebody that, like, with her background. But
Yeah.
I'll get into it later when we start to unravel what the kid's purpose was. But, and then he's trying to prove to her that they are in purgatory by hanging himself. And they have this really crazy scene where he hangs himself, and she's freaking out. And then he starts talking, and he's like, "See, I can't kill myself. We're in purgatory."
Yeah.
And then she starts going crazy. I think she goes outside. I don't know what happens exactly, but yeah, and then they have this scene where I think it's when she's like going crazy or she's like downstairs, and they pan over the attic and you see his fucking climbing like stuff,
Yeah.
which he used to suspend himself. He didn't fucking hang himself. And then they also, right next to all of the climbing gear, is a speaker that has the Reverend's voice on it
Yeah.
from the video from the beginning.
That
And
she's been thinking that she's been hearing just because
yeah,
he's been saying just to repent your sins that you need to all of his sermons.
what
Yeah.
a little shit. And when that happened, I think I remember like leaning over to Sebastian or maybe just thinking it, and I was like, these fucking kids, it was all them. And and then in my notes I put, oh, I knew it, the kids are fucking terrible.
Yeah,
I
that's so messed up.
I cannot imagine ever doing this to somebody. But I
Planning
think
that.
but I think that's what I like about this movie is that in a lot of movies they have kids doing these like being little rascals and doing these crazy things, but I love how in this movie they do those like these tricks, right? They're trying to like, I mean, I don't want to use prank because they're not like pranking her, but they are like, I guess prank. I don't know, but they're doing all these things to make her feel like she's going crazy. And but I like that they use this in the movie because I feel like it's a really good example of how kids don't understand the
Hmm.
severity of things.
For
How
sure. I
they
mean,
I can picture myself maybe as her, like as Mia thinking, "Oh yeah, let's fuck with her and make her not want to date our dad," right? Like kind of like Parent Trap, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where
This is just Parent Trap.
kind of where they're like they tortured that one lady, and who's to say if that wasn't like a funny movie that that lady wouldn't have murdered them, right? Like this is
Yeah.
kind of that where they're trying to break up their dad in any way, their dad and her in any way possible, but they do it in such a stupid fucking way. But anyways, getting ahead of myself. But and then as soon as she's walking back with the frozen dog, I knew that was the last straw and that the bitch was about to lose it. I knew it.
That was like her last tie, pretty much.
Well, and also I'm assuming that it was also a comfort animal or a service animal. Or a
Probably.
comfort animal probably. But or unless I know there's a lot of comfort or like service animals that help people that have like anxiety or panic attacks. They can sense when they're coming. Which there's a scene where the dog is like growling and people I was reading that somebody was like, what was that about? Why did they have like they fooled us and made it seem like it was a spirit, but it could have been the dog like feeling that something was wrong.
That's true.
But
I mean,
anyways,
obviously they did. The dog felt something.
yeah, something was happening. But yeah. And I hate these kids because you can tell that from the reaction, I don't think I think that the whole dog thing was not what they intended. I don't think they intended to kill the dog.
Probably
I
not.
think what happened was because the stuff, oh, and they show a scene too of where they hid everything, and it's basically in the basement, and it looks like you have to go outside of the house to do that. And so what I
Some
think
some
happened,
crawl space.
yeah, what I think happened is while they were moving everything, that's when the dog got out.
Well, yeah, she says that the girl Mia says like uh when Grace is holding the dog just on the porch, slowly her mind's just deteriorating. Mia says, "I'm sorry, it's my fault." Like she's crying, saying I left the
Yeah.
door open. So yeah, messed up.
Yeah. But I just put in all caps, I hate these fucking kids. I hate them so much. To use the most traumatic thing in a person's life against them is truly evil. It's
It,
evil. These kids are evil.
yeah, they. Ah, man, it's in a way they kind of got what they deserved.
I mean, yeah, like one of my questions at the very end is exactly what did they think was going to happen?
I have no
I
idea.
don't understand by going to that extent, especially like maybe playing a trick. I don't nothing. Why would you do this? It makes no sense. To go to the extent that you would pretend to hang yourself so you can convince her you're in purgatory. Man, these kids are fucked up.
For sure.
People, I was reading or I was watching a video where this guy was asking if there's evil or if there's a good and bad person, a good and bad guy in this movie. And his whole point was that not really because everybody's intentions and everybody's actions kind of point to like a gray area, but I disagree. These kids are pure fucking evil. They're the bad guys in every sense. I hate
Yeah,
these kids.
I could see that. They're
And I'm sympathetic to them because I know they're hurting
oh
and I
for
know
sure.
what happened to their mom is a bad thing. Like that, of course, like that's traumatic, but I just even in my most evil intentions, even if I hated somebody that much, I would never use something like this against somebody. I can't imagine doing that.
That's why your pranks are bad.
Probably, I mean, this is
The
the
ultimate.
ultimate prank.
They're the ultimate pranksters.
Um, and
This
we're
is a.
gonna. Oh, sorry.
Sorry. This movie is a master class on how to prank.
I mean, the planning, immaculate. Except for the very fucking end when, like, of course she's gonna fucking murder you idiots. Like, what do you think is going to happen? I don't understand. Like,
Mhm.
I want to know in their minds what exactly they thought the good case would have been. The good The best case scenario in the situation, what was it? You know, like what?
Shoot. The Grace is like, damn, I gotta go kill myself now. Gotta go.
Hey, I
I don't
mean, was
know.
that what they wanted? Like, why not? This is 2020, people. Fucking catfish your dad. You know, like, do something different. Why would you do this? It doesn't
Catfish.
make any sense. Anyways, okay. But I have two notes about, like, hindsight after I watched it this time,
Hmm.
the kind of clues that the directors put in the beginning.
Oh
So the
yeah.
shot that they're actually playing, that they're playing in the treehouse with the lodge, like, dollhouse, they're actually planning because
Oh.
there's that scene where the dad, before he goes to the lodge. Oh wait, I didn't even get to that part. Sorry. So the dog dies and she's going crazy, and she's like freaking the kids out because she starts to kneel on the fireplace like coals,
Hmm.
and she's screaming because she's torturing herself because that's what she thinks she's supposed to be doing. And then she goes up to the attic where the kids are like really terrified, and she tells them she's calm and she's trying to tell them you can see that that girl that's in that video that's dead behind the eyes, that she's back.
Yeah.
And she's telling them they need to repent, they need to sacrifice. Um and that's when the dad comes, and that's when the dad comes because she tries to shoot herself. The bullet doesn't go through, and she's like, "See, I can't die, motherfucker." And then she shoots him, and he does die.
He definitely dies.
Yeah, and the kids try to go and leave, and of course they can't. But before we get to the ending, the last hindsight thing. So they're planning in the dollhouse. That's the inciting incident of the dad rushing to the lodge because he sees that, in the like dollhouse, there's "repent" written on like one of the attic walls or something, and the kid, his doll is hanging, and I
Oh
think the
yeah.
dad's like, okay. Yeah, and then also one of the last like things in hindsight is that, when the son is packing, he puts his climbing gear, the candles, and a frame in his bag.
Wow. Dang. I
And
did not
like
know.
now watching it, it is kind of, at first I was like, this is a little too obvious, but I mean, if you didn't catch it,
I did not. That's cool.
yeah. Um, so we did talk about the ending with Bruce,
Yeah. So we can cut to that.
and we're back. Oh wait, no, that wasn't the cut. It's okay. We can use that.
It's live. This is going in.
I know, that's why I said it's okay.
We're back with Bruce.
There you go.
Yes.
So I know last episode was good time because our sister picked it, and we just kind of picked this for you. I'm sorry we didn't give you that chance. But how did you feel about it?
It was actually pretty good, I think. Like what it, but I was also it was really, there were a lot, I don't know how you'd call them, if they were kind of like vertical-ish shots. You know, like there's the shot at the beginning where with the hallway where she walks down the hallway, she's looking for the kids, and then when they're driving down to the lodge and they're like in the snow and everything's dark and you can just see the car and like what's in front of them.
Oh yeah.
And then the whole dollhouse thing, that was also weird. I was like, wow, that's kind of like the beginning of Hereditary when they have the dollhouse.
Yeah,
But I
very
think
reminiscent.
they implemented it a lot more into this movie. You know, it'd be like before a scene they would show in the dollhouse what was basically going to happen in the next scene.
I I was creeped out by the dollhouse. I don't
I
know.
liked it though. It was kind of cool. I wish I had a
Oh,
dollhouse like that.
that's what I watched it with my mom, and she was saying that she was like, "I've always wanted a dollhouse."
And she never got us one. Wow.
She mentioned that she says when I have grandchildren or if I have one that she's gonna get one for
What
them.
the hell?
But that she'll like get upset with them, like if they use it wrong, she'll just like push them aside and say, "No, you're doing it wrong."
Oh my god, she does. I would totally see her doing that.
So what do you think happened?
Oh yeah, I'm very curious about what your interpretation of the ending was.
There's like theories. There's like different I don't know.
Kind of, yeah.
I didn't think about it that much. I remember I felt really bad because at first obviously what the kids are dealing with, like the death of their mom, and then for the dad to be like, like, oh yeah, there's already another lady, and I want you to like basically like be friends with her, and obviously they don't want to. And then I think the whole part where like what Grace, she wakes up and there's like nothing in the house, everything's like put away. And at first, the kids, I believe the kids, they were like, oh, we don't know what happened. And so I was like, oh, I was convinced that Grace had dumped it in the snow or something like that. And then towards the end of the movie, they showed that the kids knew all along where the stuff was. And I was, I was like, okay, like I don't care about these kids anymore. Like I want them to get what's coming to them. Basically, I did feel kind of bad for the dad. Like at first I didn't feel that bad because I was like, he's kind of pushing this on them. But at the end I was really like, I mean, he just kind of walked in and got shot basically. Like, there wasn't much he could do. But let's see the end. I mean, from everything that was going on, I would just assume that they gaslit her so bad that she just went back to like the whole cult thing, that had happened, that they'd showed in the little video earlier in the movie, the kids had watched, I guess.
Yeah.
And that was another reason I felt bad for her, because she just went crazy again, basically. And I did kind of like how they had, what is it, the last shot of the movie was the gun with the 2 bullets, and they showed that at like the very beginning of the movie, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Full circle. Like a revolver.
Oh my god. So good, but I wonder, because I didn't have a chance to like read any bad reviews, and I also didn't want it to like muddy what I thought. But oh wait, no, I'm lying. I did read one, but it was kind of, I feel like when movies come out like this that are marketed as scary movies and aren't as scary, because I feel like maybe there was 2 jump scares I can think of. But other than that, it was just a creepy movie. And a lot of people, they kind of use that against the movie. So how did you feel about that? About this being marketed as a horror film and then what you actually saw?
It felt like there was a lot of tension. I think the one jump scare that I remember, if you count it, was like at the very beginning when the mom shoots herself.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know why. I just wasn't even thinking that. I was like, oh, she's pretty sad. I guess she's getting like, maybe she's gonna overdose on pills or something. She seemed pretty sad. And then she just shoots herself. I was like, oh, like, but there was a lot of, like I forgot when the scene when she's like when Grace is walking through the house and they're playing like some organ, like the church music or whatever, really, she's walking
So
really slow.
loud.
Yeah. And I feel like throughout the movie, there was a lot of tension, but they didn't break it, through like trying to scare you. Really, it was just kind of like a really, it feel like it wasn't like a horror movie. It was more of a suspense.
Or it's like a different kind of horror movie, right? Like, yeah. Man, I've ranted about this for like years, but this is like a kind of a new wave of horror. It's very reminiscent of Hereditary, or even there's a movie called It Comes at Night, which also has really adverse reactions where a lot of people hate it and some people like it. And I think that's what it is too, is that horror films always end, they kind of have like unless it's a sequel, which they always have sequels, but for the most part, they're kind of like tied in a nice little bow. And they, like you said, it's all about tension. Like horror films to me are all about tension and release. And this movie, they build up so much tension and they don't release it for you.
Yeah.
And that is part of the experience. Like when you would see a horror film, you don't just go to get scared, you go to get disturbed or to like feel something. And horror isn't just like one thing. And so that's what makes me so angry when I see movies like this in theaters or when I see people react to it, because I'm like, You sure there are some bad movies that are trying to do this, but like this isn't one of them. I feel like it did its job, and just because it didn't do what you wanted it to, doesn't mean it's a bad movie.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Man, I don't even know. Like the mom at the beginning, I had no idea she was even thinking of killing herself. I knew she was sad, but
Yeah.
my mom was like obviously like what? Like what the hell? She's like I thought she was
Yeah.
gonna like pop some pills or something, but
Yeah.
that thought didn't even cross my mind. So it was like
Same. And this
okay.
one I actually saw in theaters too, because it was like a limited release, and it came to Austin, and I remember that there were some parts that scared me, but that one specifically like shook me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, the part that that I really don't like about, or not don't like, but that scares me, or just cult stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's just like, it just feels so real. Like I don't want to say guarantee, but like I'm sure that's happened before, you know?
Yeah. There's.
Oh, speaking of that, so we're kind of doing a new structure when we have somebody on where we're gonna tell you the fun facts instead of like off interview. We're gonna do it like while we're talking to you. So I have two, and the first one is actually about cults. So the cult, well, it's not really a fun fact, but it's a fact. The cult from Grace's past is clearly based on Heaven's Gate, which is a real cult that consisted of 39 members who also committed mass suicide in a communal house with shrouds covering their upper bodies.
See what
So
I'm
almost
saying?
exactly what happened,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cults are very scary. They're very real.
And what's scary too about cults is that you see these documentaries or interviews with people that survived them, and they're normal people. Like it doesn't take a special person to be involved in a cult. If you like find somebody at a very particular part in their life, you could just
Yeah.
like convince them to do basically anything, which is kind of scary.
Terrifying. She was like, she was on the right path of just like living her life. She
Yeah.
was like, from my perspective, or from like the outsider's perspective, like she was kind of on the right path. She was taking medication. She was just like, I don't know why she just didn't like that poster. I guess it's just like just some mental stuff where she just started bleeding, like her nose just started bleeding
Yeah.
when she saw that painting.
Well, yeah, she has like severe PTSD and it is based in a religious cult. So if you see images from that past, it's going to trigger you.
Yeah.
She was
So
on the right path. Those
I
kids
know.
were.
And all of her intentions were good. She had presents for them. She was basically good throughout. She saved that fucking girl's little dumbass doll. You
Yeah.
know, she like was such a good person throughout. And look what it got her. Ugh. So upsetting. Okay, and so I have one more fun fact, which actually is kind of funny to me. But the directors, so the directors are two. I forgot where they're from, but this is their first English speaking film. They did one called Goodnight Mommy, which if you like this movie, you'll love Goodnight Mommy. It is so fucking good. It used to be on Amazon Prime. I don't think it is anymore, but if you have the means to go and rent it, I highly recommend it because it's very fucking good.
That
But
title is
so
creepy.
these I know, but just watch the trailer and you'll be hooked. So the directors really wanted to turn off the heat so that the actors can like experience the cold exactly how it was supposed to be, because all the snow and like how cold it looked outside was how it actually was in the area they were. But obviously the people that like helped make the film, they wouldn't let them do that. But
Yeah.
the directors basically wanted to like, what's the word? Kind of go method with it, where they were actually experiencing all the cold that they were, looking like they were experiencing. And yeah, I thought that would have been fun.
I think. I
I
think they
love
did
being
that
cold.
in the lighthouse. No, with.
Oh yeah, the lighthouse. If you
Yeah.
look at any interview, it sounds like it was a nightmare making that. Yeah.
Wow. So did you like it overall?
Overall, I did like it. It was a good movie. I feel like I didn't feel disappointed. You know how like you said it. Everything just felt sort of ended. Like you could basically guess what was going to happen to the kids, and then
Yeah.
it was just over. There wasn't like, oh, the police are coming and they're going to find out what's going on. There wasn't like anything like that. It just kind of ended, and you knew where it was going.
Well, they're just in purgatory, so.
Oh, man.
I really believed it too. And then I.
For a moment, I
Yeah.
was too. I kind of like how they made you go back and forth, where you're like, well, no, they're fine. But wait,
Yeah.
are they? It's like that one TikTok of that girl, the kombucha girl.
Oh.
That's exactly how I was, where I was like, well, maybe. Nah.
I thought they were. Okay, this is gonna sound really dumb.
Oh my God.
I thought that
I
they.
cannot wait to hear what this is gonna
Okay. I thought that they were in somehow they had like become the dollhouse, like become the little dolls in the dollhouse.
be. I wish you wouldn't have said that. I'm kidding.
Okay. I think I get what you mean, because I feel like when they're showing the little dollhouse, like before the scenes that happen, that I feel like that's a logical, with the information that they're giving you, that's a conclusion that you could come to.
Because especially
What a nice friend to make you not feel dumb.
well, here's the thing that like kind of where I was like that kind of like sparked that thought was that all the food was gone, that like all the power wasn't working, and that would
Oh.
be true in a dollhouse. There's no power.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what though? I feel like okay, let me save your logic here. So, if you think about it, they kind of are in a dollhouse because and the people that are controlling it are the kids. They're controlling everything that's happening because they're putting the speaker that has the like video audio going on. They're using their climbing gear to make it look like he hung himself. Everything that happened in the dollhouse actually happened because somebody's manipulating it.
Yeah.
So, in a sense, they were.
There you go. You heard it here
There
first,
you go.
folks.
It takes a village to make a stupid idea sound smart. No, I'm kidding. It's not a dumb idea. Honestly, anything could have happened at that point. So, I just never heard that before.
There you
See,
go.
I feel like the one thing that I had questions for was like, how far back were they planning on doing this? Because they had, like there was that scene where he gives her like the paper, and it's like the obituary, and like everything's completely printed, like, oh, the death, they died in the fight, like they wrote that all out, and they made it look professional enough, and they had it prepared like in time for the trip.
I bet as soon as the dad told them what he wanted to do, or the dad told them like his plan, and they were like pissed about it. I bet as soon as after that happened, that's when they decided to
I could see that.
do that.
Yeah.
Because this had to take a lot of planning. I don't know if I could coordinate this amount of planning.
Yeah.
Change the clocks. Like they were really methodical with it. Like
Yeah.
That was another thing. I was wondering if because with the clocks, if that meant like what is it, January 9th, if that meant anything for Grace, or if that means anything like bigger at
yeah.
all, or it was just like a random date that they had set it to.
I wonder. I don't know. Maybe he just wanted to make it look like he had a time jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. That would have been cool if it was like I don't know. What's a significant date?
Like the day the mom killed herself.
Uh,
I feel like that would have been too on the nose, though.
Yeah. Wait, because they said, but it couldn't have been. I don't think it could have been
yeah.
that because it was like, what is it, Thanksgiving? It said
Was
6 months later when it like.
It looked like the summer
Mm.
or spring at least. Whenever she did it.
what was with those turkeys?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
I
a
don't
little weird.
Who has like I get like tiny turkeys, but they were like the
Big.
size of real turkeys, and they were just like hanging.
I don't know. I was like, I don't know how white people spend their Thanksgiving, so let me not judge it. I don't know. Maybe they hang plastic turkeys. No, it was kind of cute though. I didn't mind it. It was kind of weird. It was funny that they had it outside when it was obviously fucking cold.
Yeah.
They were like all freezing, and their dinner probably got cold in like 2 seconds. Dummies.
I was just thinking right now, like that I don't remember his name, but the brother, he was probably who did most of the planning, and I was like, maybe just the daughter is a little like she was just following along, but she's the one who showed her the video. She showed Grace the video where it was just
Oh
a
my
video of her
god.
mom.
Oh,
So
yeah.
forget that girl too. She's not innocent. Man, wild.
So, well, since we're talking about endings, and I feel like we can like ease this into our discussion that we probably had previously, what do you think happened at the end, Anthony? Do you agree that it was like pretty plain as day what happened?
Yeah, she probably killed him. I mean, I
Well,
feel
wasn't
like
she playing that roulette game where she was like spinning it, and then that's why she shot herself or tried to shoot herself, and then tried to shoot the dad? Or do you
I
think she's gonna kill all of them?
I think she, well, I'm not familiar with what like was it clear how everyone like how did she survive that cult thing
Yeah,
in her
because it says she
past?
was she was the only one that survived out of like all the people that died.
I don't think it said. Or maybe if she was like chosen not to, so that she could like spread the word, maybe that's what it was. Because she was, I think the Reverend was her dad.
Yeah.
So maybe she was the person that was supposed to, like, after they all killed themselves, she was supposed to do it again? Like make a new cult, I'm assuming.
Well, because they convinced, like, she was like fully convinced that she was in purgatory and that they
Yeah.
needed to repent their sins. And I feel like in her mind, that's the only way to do that is to die. So,
Well, they needed to suffer. She said they needed to suffer in the flesh. Oh, wait, no. They needed to suffer and then they needed to make a sacrifice. And so maybe the dad was the sacrifice and I don't know. I'm kind of confused about her whole logic there. I because she tried to shoot herself, like with the two bullets, is she going to kill the kids, or is she going to do that like roulette thing and say like, well, if God wants you to live, then I don't
I
know.
thought she was gonna murder them.
Yeah.
Maybe. Because the thing too is I think she's saying we need to repent for our sins, and the whole sin is the whole thing with the mother, right?
Mhm.
And she thinks they all played a part or something. I don't know. That is interesting.
I don't know. I
I think
can't think of
she,
like a cult leader. So,
yeah, I don't know. I think she just straight up killed them too. But yeah. Any final thoughts about the ending? I think we kind of covered it, but
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like there was just a lot of tension throughout the whole movie, especially at the end. You know, when she's walking towards the car
ooh,
and
oh
you're
my
just
god.
you're just waiting. I'm like, oh my, like please,
I
what's gonna
loved that scene. That was so funny. Where they're trying to get out. I'm like,
happen?
you idiots are not going to get that car to the fucking driveway.
revving the engine.
Dummies. Good ending though. I personally love ambiguous endings. Even though like we can kind of assume what we think happens, but it is sort of ambiguous because it doesn't show you exactly what she's going to do. But I love it. I did think that they were gonna show her like killing them, but I'm kind of glad they didn't.
Yeah, I feel like they could have probably gotten a lot of backlash for having two kids getting shot on screen.
Probably that's happened before in a movie, and people did not like it, even though like it's not a real movie.
Yeah.
It's all fake, guys. Yeah. Alrighty. Do we want to throw it to the main episode, Anthony? You have any more thoughts?
Any last words, Bruce? Any last words?
No, I think that's all.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. It was lovely to have you.
Yeah.
And we're back. Thank you again to Bruce for joining us and talking about the ending with us. But yeah, so those were our final thoughts, and we're just gonna move right into an announcement, kind of announcement, like a precursor to an announcement. But we're gonna start doing a movie night. We don't we don't really have too many details. What we're thinking is maybe every 2 weeks, maybe every month. We're going to try to figure out a good time and date to do all of these. But for now, we'll see how the first one goes. But yeah, basically, we're just going to do a virtual movie night. We don't know exactly what website we're going to use yet. I think Anthony's kind of looking into it, but it'll be sort of like Netflix party where we
Yeah,
sorry, go
I'm
on.
I'm thinking probably Discord at the moment where we can like kind of live stream. You guys can join. But further more details will be given in the like real announcement.
But yeah, so I'm excited. The whole point of this is we're not going to be watching the movies that we're discussing because we're doing this on like a monthly or a bi-weekly basis. It's going to be different movies, but we're going to do sort of like, I don't know what to call it, but there's basically we're just going to be making fun of bad movies.
Yeah.
We're going to watch bad movies, have a great time. I mean, maybe we'll even watch a good movie here and there. I don't know, but we will have at the beginning. Probably I'll pick an option. Anthony will pick an option, and we'll have y'all vote. But yeah, so we'll just have a grand time, just making fun of bad movies.
Yeah. Or we can even like do a poll on our Instagram at Brother Sister Show or our Twitter at Bro
Yeah,
Sis Show.
whatever y'all want. This is something that we've been wanting to interact with just our listeners for. Like, I think we have like a small community that listens all the time, and we want to interact with y'all on a more like meaningful and consistent basis rather than y'all just listening to us. I think that would be fun. But yeah, more details once we figure it all out. I just wanted people to like know that we're doing it and have something to look forward to. But yeah,
Keep your
more
eyes peeled.
details. Keep your eyes peeled. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Anthony, what are the handles? Because I never remember.
Instagram is at Brother Sister Show. Quick yawn.
Oh my god.
Twitter is at Bro Sis Show. Bro
There
Sis
you go.
Show.
Okay. And so for next week, unrelated to the watch party, next week, we're going to watch a classic. We're going to watch a comfort movie. We're going to watch Fantastic Mr. Fox.
I am super excited for this because it is one of the all-time faves.
Where is
Another
it going to be,
nostalgic.
Anthony?
It's
Where
gonna
can
be
people
on.
watch it?
It's gonna be on Disney Plus May 22nd. It's well, which
Thursday.
is to, that's Friday.
Oh, it'll be out then.
Yeah,
Oh, is
so
that
it'll
Friday?
be yeah
Oh, okay.
22nd's Friday. So it'll be out tomorrow if you're listening on Thursday. If not, just go to Disney Plus and watch it. But yeah, it'll be fun. I really love that movie. Super nostalgic again. We've been picking a lot of nostalgic movies for us.
Yeah.
This one is one of them.
All right. We'll watch that one. DM us if you want to be on an episode. Um, we'll plug your stuff.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you, Bruce, for coming on. It was fun. Yeah,
All right. See
we'll
you
talk.
next time.
Yeah, bye.